Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of My Thoughts. Well, we haven't had a My Thoughts in a while due to just me not really having anything to talk to. I kind of already said that it's more or less if I have something that I want to talk about, and comes around only once in a while. And I'm just saying, sometimes there's stuff that I want to talk about, and there's like nothing I want to talk about, and sometimes I save stuff to talk about for My Thoughts. Like I kind of save the best for last, if that makes sense. I had this video idea in my notes for a while, and I have a few other My Thoughts notes. So with My Thoughts, I just really like to space it out as much as I can. And if I have a lot of stuff I want to come out with, I'll just, I'll come out with a lot of My Thoughts, and I could also evenly space it out. So if that makes sense, I hope it does. That's kind of how My Thoughts is working, for the time being. But yeah, I think this is a pretty big My Thoughts, and I really wanted to talk about this. Like I said, I wanted to talk about it for a while. And it's the future of YouTube. Where's YouTube going? How's YouTube going to be in 6 or 7 years, for example? But it's more or less just the future of YouTube and where YouTube is going. I make content on YouTube. Millions and millions of other people make content on YouTube. I'm not really reading off of an article here. I'm not really reading off of any kind of script. It's kind of like more of a raw cut video here. So YouTube has been around for as long as I've been alive. Maybe like 1 year. YouTube was made in 2005, so it's only like 1 year older than I am. So YouTube has pretty much been around my entire lifespan. And it's been a big part of my life. Been watching YouTube since I could. I've had a lot of good YouTube memories, and a lot of videos on YouTube make me feel nostalgic about childhood and all that. And that can be said about pretty much a lot of other people. They've had YouTube be a big part of their childhood, and they grew up watching YouTube videos and all that stuff. So that can be said about pretty much a lot of different things. So YouTube has certainly changed and gotten a lot bigger since it first started back in 2005. It's owned by Google, which it wasn't originally owned by Google, but now it is owned by pretty much, the biggest corporate franchise in the world. And, it gets funding from Google, and Google operates it and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty big in terms of, the future of YouTube. It is owned by a billion-dollar company, and it gets funding from a billion-dollar company. So my personal thoughts on the future of YouTube is going to expand because, slowly over the years, it took them, 18 years to get like this. Now, some companies like 30 years, 40 years maybe to get to have gotten to this point. I'm just saying it took other companies longer to get to the point where YouTube is now. So it definitely definitely didn't take very long for them to get to as big as they are now. Now, YouTube has several outlets such as YouTube Music, YouTube TV, the actual YouTube platform website itself. And YouTube is, I believe, only going to expand. It's kind of outruling. Now, I know there's a bunch of other digital cable providers, but I think YouTube TV is pretty much, what was it, like the bigger one, and it's outruling hookup cable TV, if that makes sense. Cable TV, cable TV. It's outruling that. YouTube TV is one of the first TV providers that I know of. I should say not first TV provider, but one of the biggest TV providers I know of, and it's revolutionizing cable-free TV, which is pretty big. Now that's just YouTube TV is just a name brand of YouTube, not let alone the actual YouTube platform themselves. They rake in millions and millions of dollars every year. And in my point in saying that, which, what it has to do with the future of YouTube is they're going to only keep expanding and keep expanding and keep expanding. And, some people think YouTube's going to die in a few years. Some people think it's not. I don't think it is. I think it's only going to get, more corporatizing and more bigger. And I personally think that in the next, 10 years maybe, YouTube will still be around, and it'll be probably even bigger than it is now. Now, the future of the actual YouTube video watching platform, where where I'm making this video and putting this video on, and where I put all my videos on, and where so much other people put videos on, the future of that is going to be big. It's pretty much like TV online. You get to watch whatever videos you want, whatever kinds of videos. It's, it's been like that for quite some time now. And you can make a living off YouTube. People make a living off streaming on YouTube, making videos off YouTube. You've been able to make a living. Now that 18 years ago when YouTube was first made was pretty much unheard of. You could actually make a living, you could make it into a job pretty much. And I think that's pretty amazing. Now, if people can make it into like a livelihood and make, YouTube money, then that's also what can keep YouTube around. That's something that can keep YouTube around for years to come. It already pretty much has, but, even more to come because more people are going to start getting more subscribers and the requirements to get monetized. It actually is less, it's less, more, what am I trying to say here? It's less, it's easier to get monetized than it used to be. Now with YouTube Shorts creates a big more opportunity to get monetized on YouTube, and you can make money a lot easier. And there's a lot of benefits to YouTube. I just listed some there. Now, of course, there's some problems with their copyright system is their copyright bots, I should say, gets abused quite often, and there's a lot of problems with copyright, and people's channels get terminated from copyright, and that's not the only thing they get terminated from. I'm just saying they get terminated because of copyright and from copyright. I'm just saying that's just the one of the bigger things that people get in trouble for on YouTube is copyrighted stuff and copyrighted material, and I'm not saying YouTube doesn't have its issues because it certainly does, like every other website and every other thing on this earth. Nothing is flawless. YouTube has its issues. People have come out with videos saying YouTube has its issues, and a lot of people, certain people don't like YouTube, and they have their fair share of issues. But just because they have issues, everything has issues, like I just said, that doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to stick around and they're not going to be around for a long time. If YouTube could just fix a select amount of issues, then I think they'll be pretty good. But sometimes they just show no signs of wanting to fix it or looking at it or even thinking about it or even saying anything to the issues at hand. Like, for example, there's a lot of people who falsely use the copyright system. Like I just said, they falsely copyright videos, and sometimes it goes through and then your whole channel can end up getting terminated because of copyright if it has a certain amount of strikes on there. Like, a lot of people also falsely report channels, and they mass report channels just because they hate the creator, have an issue with the creator or whatever, just because to troll. A lot of issues are like that, their system of reporting and copyright, striking is very, and reporting for copyright is very broken. That's just one of the bigger issues that they have. A few other issues are underlying, and there's a lot of arguments made against YouTube, and it certainly has its flaws. I personally have had no issues with YouTube. They haven't falsely taken down my videos or anything like that. Like sometimes they do stuff like that. They falsely take down people's videos because of copyright, because of some violation that people actually didn't commit, like violation of community guidelines and all that. But for me personally, now of course I'm a much smaller creator. Obviously, I'm not the biggest YouTube creator on here, but I haven't had issues with YouTube at all, and hopefully when I grow this channel, I won't have issues, coming forward in the future. Because, like I said, I only make this video because I plan to be on YouTube for a while, and keep creating like this, and keep doing this, and I think it's important that I give my thoughts on where I think this platform is going. Hopefully I can monetize my channel, and I can start making money from this. Obviously I'm not, I'm not putting all my effort into here and, not having a job or anything like that. I'm just saying that hopefully I can monetize this channel one day and make some money from it. Maybe it's like a side hustle or something like that. I just have to get a few more requirements done, get a certain amount of subscribers and all that. But, that's what I'm working towards. I mean, I guess that's what everybody works towards eventually whose channel isn't already monetized. And I kind of went off topic there, but I'm just saying. Personally, despite all the issues with YouTube, they still are, they make a bunch of money, get a bunch of funding, and they're backed by one of the biggest companies, Google. So, of course, they're going to stay around for a while. I believe as long as Google stays around, YouTube will stay around, because Google is, it's a pretty big benefactor for YouTube. And I think, my final thoughts on this is YouTube's going to stay around. It's going to become probably more expanded, more corporatized. They're going to expand their branches to, they already have music, they already have TV, live TV, they already have sports, they already have like a bunch of stuff out just outside the main YouTube website. So I think they're just going to keep expanding and keep going until they can't anymore. But they'll clearly be around for a while. And some people might argue that YouTube's going to die out because of other companies, and other companies like might bigger them and get over it, and a lot of people might boycott. Somebody on Twitter said, I don't know who, but I saw on Twitter, I did do some research for this video. I saw on Twitter that somebody said that YouTube is going to, or a bunch of people are going to boycott YouTube or something like that because of their issues. Or I think it said if YouTube's issues get any worse, then a bunch of people are going to boycott YouTube, and eventually they'll just be forced to shut down or something like that. Something stupid, but I mean, you know how it is on Twitter. But yeah, I however disagree. I fully believe that YouTube will stay around. It's here to stay, and the YouTube brand is going to stay around for a good long while. So, you know, there has to be like YouTube. You can make a job out of YouTube. You can make a living out of YouTube. So there has to be some kind of job security. I imagine if you say, "Hey, we can make this your livelihood. We can, pay your bills, pretty much." There has to be some kind of job security. Like, I wouldn't want to get a job that I won't be making money from in a year. Like, there has to be some sort of job security, I believe, in place. When you make YouTube your, main source of income and, make a living off of it for certain cases. Now, no, of course, not everybody, everybody in the world makes money from YouTube and makes it a living. But, some bigger YouTubers can afford to make it a living, and they make enough money to make, live good for themselves. So, yes, there has to be some sort of job security in place for that, I believe. So, if you're making people's livelihoods, you could afford to stay around. So, that's what I'm saying. So, YouTube's here to stay. That's my final thoughts on it. I figured I'd come here and make final thoughts. Like I said, it's some of those in my notes for a while. That's pretty much the end of the video. I know I kind of went on a rant here, and certain times it didn't really make any sense because I didn't really script this video. It was more of like a raw video. I didn't really read off of an article or anything. It was more of just pure my thoughts. But that is what my thoughts is all about. Raw, uncut, things that I could just talk about like purely. So that's what it's all about. Comment down below what you guys think the future of YouTube is. Let's discuss that. But make sure to subscribe for more content. Like the video, all good stuff. Discord, Twitch, Instagram. Links in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video.